Hi, I'm Miiyu, and welcome to Study Session 2. In this session, I'll cover 3 topics. Lineart, simple background, and lighting. Wow, that's pretty cool. But Miiyu, why are you posting another study session this week? Are you still having trouble coming up with new drawings? Well, yes and no. It's true that I hadn't made any new drawings. But unlike the last study session, this time I'm doing 2 complete pieces. Not to mention, if everything goes well, next week on the channel we'll have a mini segment of me drawing characters that I know a lot of you love. So I needed some time to get that organized. Got it. Now that that's all explained, let's get into it. For my first study today, I'm using my OC Serenity as the guinea pig. I picked a pose reference from Pinterest that really fits her. As you can see in the dot reference, the character is basically floating in the air, balanced on nothing but a broom. And the moment I saw it, I thought it'd be perfect for today's study. First, the lineart. I tend to go with thicker lines, and that habit goes back to when I used to draw with my finger on my phone, before switching to a digital pen on a tablet. I think it has to do with the screen size difference. On a phone, the small screen makes it harder to do thin, precise lines, so I got used to thicker strokes. And even now, drawing with way more precision on a tablet, that habit still shows up. Now, on to the painting. Since I also wanted to try a simple background, I went with a nighttime city. Buildings in the back, and a moon in the upper corner. I tried to paint Serenity based on the moonlight coming from behind her. I felt like there were parts of this piece that, with more time to refine them, could have looked way better. It's not that I'm not capable of doing better. I've drawn backgrounds way more complex than this one before. But the amount of time I put into those is completely different. But since the point of a study isn't to create a masterpiece, but to test out techniques, I think this turned out pretty well. Now let's move on to our second study of the day. By the time you're watching this video, this piece has probably already been posted. Because, besides being a study, I wanted to use it for a specific shorts. For this drawing, I decided to use another OC of mine as the guinea pig, Miiyu. I also brought back something I'd already studied before, hands. And as you can see, I ended up redoing them quite a few times until I was happy with how they looked. I also tried doing a thinner lineart for this one, which ends up taking a bit more time, but in the end, I think it pays off in the final result. Since I wanted the contrast between the painting and the lineart to really stand out. I also decided to try a kind of shading I think is really pretty but had never attempted before. That light tan shadow effect you get when sunlight filters through the leaves of a tree. Creating little speckles of light on the character's skin or clothes. At first, I tried doing that shading without any references, but it looked really bad. So I grabbed some references and followed them to build the base shading. I also decided to do the shadow and the base painting on separate layers, so I could add the leaf shadows on top afterward. I added a colorful background and threw in some flowers and leaves too. Here's how it turned out. I think it came out pretty cute, but I still feel like something's missing. If you can tell what it is, let me know in the comments. Well, that was today's study session. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next week's video. See you later. Bye bye everyone.